Hello, students. So, yesterday I had a meeting with a few of my students, and I had the unfortunate task to actually share with them that a project which they have put in a lot of effort um, is actually not the direction that the school actually wants, right? So, they actually need to rethink quite a bit and to redo their work quite a lot, which can be damaging to morale, I know, because after you put in a lot of effort and suddenly you need to pivot, it is quite challenging. So it reminds me of a story that I heard long time ago that I really enjoyed, and how to actually face this kind of changes very positively. It's it's a story where there was a young man who's interested in becoming or a gardener, right? So maybe he just wants a beautiful garden, and he went to look for an experienced gardener and asked, how do I actually, make a beautiful garden? So the advice to him was, you need to water the plants, right? So he challenged the young man, say, now you see this plot of land, we are going to grow some plants, let's water them. So what you need to do every day, every morning at dawn when you wake up, I would like you to actually go down to the river and carry 2 buckets of water up so that you can actually water the plants. So the gardener passed the young man 2 buckets, and the next day, early in the morning, the young man went to collect the water from the river, and when he started walking back to the plot of land with some seeds that's planted, he realized that his bucket is leaking. So what actually happens is that the gardener provide him with buckets that is faulty, right? So it leaks. So he was very frustrated, but he pulled his bucket. He will just quickly walk as fast as he can back to the plot of land. And when he reached there, there's not much water left. So he pour whatever he can. But he don't have his own bucket, right? So he couldn't do anything about it. So he challenged the gardener after that. Say, why do you give me a bucket that is leaking? Do you have a better bucket? So the gardener just tell the young man, look, you want to learn from me? Just continue doing this every day for an entire month, and I'm not going to change your bucket. So the young man being stubborn, he actually followed the instruction and he tried doing that. So day after day, he will collect the water in the bucket and run as fast as he can to his land and try to water the plants. Of course, the amount of plants, the plants didn't get a lot of water in that case, right? So after 1 month is passed, he looked for the gardener again and say, okay, I followed your instruction, but look at the plants. They are not growing as we wish. It's not getting enough water. But the gardener smiled at him and tell him, come, let's take a walk to the river. And as they were walking towards the river, they noticed something, that the path from the land from the land all the way to the river, on the 2 sides of the path, beautiful flowers have grown. Because as he's walking with the bucket, as he's watering the side of the roads. So sometimes um, the reward that we get may not be so straightforward, right? So he actually worked very hard to grow his plants in his plot of land, but eventually he find great rewards, realizing that the entire path to and fro the river is his real garden. So managing change sometimes is something that we need to really have an open mind about. When I was younger, I actually participated in the National Day parade, not as a soldier. That was not me. I actually performed, the dance segment that happens after that. So I participated in a few years. Then I had the opportunity to actually choreograph um, uh, quite a few times as well. I think in the early 2000s when I was still in the university. So one lesson that I really remember very fondly of all those years participating in National Day Parade is that things change. right? Because as we are preparing for performance, sometimes we gather 200, 500. The largest scale I actually participate in was the 2,000 participants dancing at the same time. So you plan their dance, you choreograph the movement, the formation that they put up, and then you have the props and so on. So sometimes we plan, and the plan sounds and looks good, but when we execute it, they can dance. We started the planning for National Day Parade starts very early, right? The planning starts as early as October, November for the following year, and then after that by February, we have the participants are coming in, we have the audition, people start to practice. And initially when we start to practice, we do not have full strength. Sometimes if we have a poor performance of a few hundred people, we recruit them, and it takes a while for everyone to actually form up the formation, so it takes a while. So after we recruited enough people to participate and dance, then we look at the formation again. Sometimes what we imagine with that numbers, when people actually come together, it doesn't look good, and we have to change. And then after that, when it comes to about April, the props, sometimes we dance with props, lighting props and all those props that we hold. um, and the props come in, and then things looks weird again, and we have to change again. And then along the way, the music will actually be amended. Then when performance come, then after that we have people who actually make decision. We got to coordinate with people who dance before us and after us. Different groups of people actually coming in and out to perform, and all this coordination, as all this new information starts coming in, we make a lot of adjustment, and sometimes this adjustment quite drastic. And the thing is, it is not just making changes on my part, right? I plan, I choreograph, and then I say let's change. It's not just me making the changes on paper. Hundreds of people get affected, right? You change the timing, you change the dance steps, hundreds of people get affected. And every step of the way, the decision actually have a lot of repercussions, so consider very deeply. But at the same time, it really build up the resilience that look, everyone is of the same mind. Everyone wants to produce a product, a beautiful dance item that can really cause our fellow Singaporeans to really enjoy the occasion and the National Day Parade. And when we are united in that purpose, then all these hardships, all these amendment, all the frustration actually get minimized quite a lot. So of course, when it comes to something like a school project, when we know the objective and the purpose very clearly, I think in my previous video I talked about understanding the why we want to do something, and when that message is very clear, then it's quite fun, right? In fact, it is difficult. You spend a lot of time. You need to make amendments. Sometimes frustration coming. We are only human, but as long as we hold on to our conviction that what I'm doing will really help me to grow, will really help the organization that I'm in to grow, will really help the student body that I'm in to grow. And with that kind of conviction, I think it can still be a very joyful endeavor, because it's clear and it's meaningful. So for those students who actually look at it in such a positive manner and doing your best, I'd like to thank you very much. I think you're wonderful. So just do our best. Don't worry, right? The school is a very safe place. It's for us to try and error and do your best. And in the event that the outcome is not what we want, I think what's very important is let's not be disheartened, because even if the garden that we are trying to grow did not grow as much as we want, the roads to the river is filled with beautiful flowers. All right. So all the best, and have a nice day.